Happy New Year, Husky fans. A lot has gone down since we last saw you. Your UConn men's basketball team is ranked #1 in the nation for the first time since 2009, and they are on a 6-game winning streak. We have a lot to go through today, but first, I'm Avery Becker.
And I'm Keaten, and this is Hurley's Hoops.
Hurley and the Huskies have their dreams come true.
On December 20th, the Huskies went to Seton Hall to face off against the Pirates. This was a devastating game for the Huskies, as we both lost the game 75-60, and we had an injury to our star center, Donovan Clingan. This happened early in the second half of the game, where he injured a tendon on his right foot. It was said he was going to miss 3 to 4 weeks, but thankfully, this is over winter break, and he's back.
Well, the Huskies did have to continue on without him on December 23rd when they faced St. John's, but they won the game 69-65. Samson Johnson took his place, and he kind of gained more playing time, and it was kind of a similar situation with Solo Ball and when Stephon Castle was injured, and Samson Johnson received Player of the Game with 16 points and was 7 for 10 on his field goals. He really proved himself this game, and it was only up for the Huskies from there.
Moving into the new year, and what a way to start the new year, other than a blowout Big East win. On January 2nd, UConn took on DePaul at home, winning the game 85-56. Cam Spencer, along with adjusting so well to being a UConn Husky, was the player of the game with 20 points. We also saw Alex Caravan with 17 points and a game-high 7 rebounds. This was a great offensive scoring night all around for the team.
Just 3 days later, on January 5th, the Huskies headed down to Indianapolis to face the Butler University Bulldogs. Butler was up at the half 42-35, but they rallied back, scoring 14 more points than the Bulldogs in the second. The player of the game was Alex Caravan, who had 20 points and a 67 field goal percentage, as well as 4 3-pointers.
To cap off the games over the winter break for the Huskies, UConn faced off against Xavier, and of course, a winning game. The Huskies won 80-75 on January 10th. Player of this game was Hassan Diarra with 11 points, 4 for 4 field goals, and 3 rebounds. But this was an overall good game for most of UConn's players. Let's shout out Cam Spencer, who had 19 points and 3 3-pointers, and Tristan Newton, who had 16 points and also 3 3-pointers. This was a great game and a great way to end the winter break.
The Huskies started their spring semester section of the season on January 14th when they won against the Georgtown Hoyas 80-67 at home. It was a battle between Supreme Cook and Alex Caravan, and Caravan got a season high of 26 points and 5 rebounds. Caravan was also 6 for 8 on 3-pointers, which is an area that he normally successes at but has been struggling with as of recently. So this was a really good game for him to get his confidence back up.
Moving on to an electric game in stores. On January 17th, Creighton came into the basketball capital of the world and lost 62-48. This was UConn's first game being ranked #1. And giving them credit, Creighton is ranked number 18. Again, this was an electric night in Gamble. It was $2 beer night. The student section was rowdy. The game started out with back and forth scoring, but by the end of the first half, UConn started to pull away and never looked back. Alex Caravan was held scoreless in the first half of the game, but ended up redeeming himself in the second half, coming up with 13 points. Tristan Newton was a player of the game with 16 points and 8 rebounds. This was a great win for the students and a great win for the Huskies.
Now moving on to the fans' favorite section of the show, and we kind of switched things up since we haven't seen you guys in a while. We have Hurley's Hoops Player of the Month, and that is no other than Alex Caravan. He really rallied back during the game versus Creighton with those 13 points and had a monster game versus Georgetown. He's a behind-the-scenes player, but always makes a huge impact on the team's offense.
I mean, we've been seeing him dominating the court. He's been averaging 20 points a game in January with a 61 field goal percentage. We have a star forward in Caravan, and I've been saying it week after week. He's a highlight on this UConn Huskies roster. Lastly, we have our game preview of Villanova. The Huskies will travel to Villanova on January 20th. This is the first matchup out of the two we have this year. Villanova is coming off a loss to number 17 Marquette, where they lost 74-87. A player to look out for this week is Eric Dixon, with a 46.8 field goal percentage and an average of 15 points per game. The last two matchups between the Huskies and the Wildcats, we have won both times. If we have a game like we did against Creighton, this is a very, very winnable game for the Huskies and puts us in great Big East standings.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. I'm Avery Becker.
And I'm Noah Keaten, and this is Hurley's Hoops.